Namaste and welcome to the 28th episode of TeaTalk. This is your Sathi Silu, but today I have a very special Sathi, Miru Sathi, who has been my best friend for last 30 years or more. We were student of literature together. We attended each other's wedding. We saw our kids grow. But whenever I'm with her, I feel like a small kid again, meeting her best friend for the first time. She's a joy. She's a teacher by profession. तर पनि I can see why she's a good teacher, why she's a great teacher. टिचिङ प्रोफेसनमा हुँदा आफूले पनि पढाउने कुरा उत्तिकै इन्जोय गर्न सक्नुपर्छ र आई क्यान सी द्याट स्पार्क अलवेज इन हर. सो विदाउट डिले, let me bring my very best friend, Lisa Ranjit Dangol, on this tea talk, and let's hear rest of the story from her own words. Welcome, Lisa. Good morning from Texas. त्यहाँ त good night भइसक्यो.
Yeah, the good night भइसकेको छ. Good morning and good night at the same time. But like whenever we meet first, it is always a good morning.
You just see, यति सुरु गर्न नै कहाँबाट सुरु गर्ने सबै कुरा बिर्सिन्छु when I'm with you.
Of course.
Okay, just start, हैन? Come, आजकल के गर्दै? Tell me about yourself.
Like currently I'm working. I'm like working in school, St. Xavier School, for the high school students, +2 department, and as well as like I'm also working part-time in DAV College. At the same time, I'm also supporting my husband's business.
Oh my God. Okay. So see, you always, I mean, whenever we meet, you have always like different ads, right? But today, let me start with your teaching profession, right? Because it's something that you have been doing for so long and whatnot.
Yes.
So why teaching? Why this profession? What inspired you? Why a teacher? Like,
okay. First of all, like I'd like to say that I choose teaching because I'm basically a teacher. I was inspired by my father, who was a teacher, who was a pioneer of co-ed education in Nepal, Mr. Kunjabadur Singh Ranjit. So like from my childhood itself, like I've seen what teaching is and how teaching benefit your personality, your family, and overall society. And that has really inspired me. So I can say teaching is my passion, not just a job. So I choose teaching to complete myself, to be myself, and to show people what we can do in our personal level. For me, teaching is like being a small lamp in the darkness and being a sun in the earth.
See, no wonder many times, like whenever I meet with you, I have shared with you that my interest, I wanted to be in your class, right? Because even when you are not in class, even when we are meeting for like coffee, tea, or in each other's home, you just put that spark of, I don't know, inspiration, light in me. And I'm sure that all of you students, they love you because they can see. I mean, I also come from the same profession, right? But we can see the, I don't know, if we enjoy teaching or not. And as you said, that it's my passion, it is who you are. And
yes,
besides Sathi, Lisa, I've always seen that spark in you. Your teacher, you said that always has, I don't know, I wanted to be in your class. I will one day.
Wow. You're most welcome.
Okay. Tell me, give me a glimpse of your normal day, like how your day starts and like just overall.
Okay. So like every day, like I get up early in the morning and I start with a smile in my face. I thank God that I'm alive and I'm healthy and I'm ready for the day. That is how I start. And then like I do my daily like household chores also because I'm a mother, I'm a wife at home. So I do my own like duties at home. And then I like start with taking bath and then of course a very important part of my life is prayers and worshiping. In the morning, I do around 15 to 20 minutes prayers, a slight meditation, right? And as far as possible, if possible, I go for a walk. Then I come back and prepare something for home. I take some hot tea, and then I set for school. By 8, I'm already off to school.
Doing all those things.
Then yes, early in the morning, like by 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the school. Then my homeroom starts.
Uh-huh.
As a class teacher of class 12, like my homeroom starts where we begin with meditation, counseling, and presentation.
Oh,
So like every day I do that. I teach my students to meditate. We start the class with anapana. Uh, 10 minutes anapana, and then that's a meditation practice that we do regularly. Then we do like we reflect on the bygone days. What
okay.
have you done? How should the, and also planning apart, slightly planning for the students. Then also counseling regarding the positive things of life. And after 10 to 20 minutes of meditation, counseling, and reflection, then I asked them to open their eyes. Then one of the students would come forward and they would share the quote of the day from the students. And then I start my class. So for a whole day, I take around 7 to 8 period a day. And that means like I'll be dealing with around 300 to 400 students a day.
A day. Yeah.
And like by 4:30 in the afternoon, my classes are over. And I come back, I take rest, I go for the walk also, and I take a cup of tea, which is very refreshing. And then I prepare for dinner, and the family together, my daughter, my husband, me, and sometimes I go with friends and families. So at the end of the day, I again start with, I end the day with prayers for the whole world, for my family, for everybody I know, and for everybody I don't know also, everybody I can see and everybody I can't see also. That is how I end my day.
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know what to ask, where to start. But let me stop at let me pause at your start of the first day of the classroom, that 10-20 minutes. That is so powerful to me, right?
Yeah,
Because when
it
you're
is, no doubt.
asking them, right, meditation, reflection, quote of the day, and all those,
Yeah,
oh my God. I
yeah,
mean, no wonder you are a teacher, because it's not just about sharing the curriculum, going by the syllabus, preparing them for exam or whatnot, but the main duty of teacher is to prepare students for life, right?
exactly, exactly.
Oh my God. And okay, let me pause this again,
Yeah,
but please take me back to our college days, plus our plus 2 days. We were very blessed to share the
yeah.
classroom, right? We were in the
Yeah.
same classroom. So just think for that moment, and just share, like, what are some of the differences in our time, in your time, you as a student versus the
Hmm.
students of this generation. So what do you see, some of the differences and similarities?
So the basic things are the same actually. Like the student's life is a student's life.
Right.
The learners, right? New thing.
Right.
We are always learning new things. We learned new things then, and still the students are learning the new things, and guided by teachers, right? But I believe like in our time when we were students, our classes were based on the lecture method.
Right.
So most of the time we can see that the teachers were like the sent on the stage, right?
Yeah.
Like they would lecture and they would come to the class, lecture on some curriculum, and their primary motives are to complete the syllabus.
Sure.
And after completing the syllabus, they will do some evaluation. That's all. But that is also not very effective because there wasn't a participation method.
Right.
The students were just like very much passive. They were just listening. They were just receivers. They were like the system was like a like cop and jog. Like the jogs, the teachers would come with the field energy, and they would like just pour the knowledge to the students. And when the cups are filled up, they will go outside. The empty jog will go outside, and the cups also, the filled cup will go to the exam hall, pour the knowledge, and come
I
back
love I love
empty.
how you
Because
presented the cup. Yeah.
yeah.
Very
So like
funny.
I compared those days like a technique as cop and jog, like because like students most of the time we have like I'm sure you also remember how we were like taught, like we didn't have the participatory methods. And like most of the time, like teachers would do the work. They would just come and give some notes, like give lecture, and our classes were finished. And once a year we'll have that evaluation exam, board exam straight away. We didn't have much like practices either. So all we did was whatever we learned in the class, whatever we could read, we just wrote it down. And most of the time we forget what we have already written. So, but like when we come today,
Right.
today's classrooms are more organized, more systematic, and like basically because the teachers are trained. Most of the schools, they train their teachers annually, as well as like in every 6 months or so.
Okay.
And because of the training, teachers like they have very participatory methods in the class. It's not only the teacher who is speaking in the class, the students are also equally participating.
Right.
And there are the lots of presentations are there. And of course this is the like technology is so much advanced, and so the students are also asked to research through the different resources. We are also learning like long distance also.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course like students have become smarter. They are the smart generation today.
Right.
So like there are lots of questions, lots of queries also there in the class. And sometimes when teachers are explaining, they also give their own opinion.
Right.
Students are asked they're encouraged to put their opinions as well. So overall I can see that classes are not just lecture based. It's not very passive. Students are interacting, students are participating, and students are not looked upon as some kind of wet clays. Rather, they are the human beings who have their own personality, and school and classes are just a platform where they can get the opportunity to expose their inner potentials. So what I feel as a teacher is, if I compare my student days to today's classes, there's a drastic change,
Sure. Of course.
and is a better change.
That is change. Yeah.
And like there are so many systems that has bind the teachers to be better. And teachers today are not just teachers, but they are facilitators. They
Facilitator.
facilitate the students to like expose their potential.
Right.
And the teachers create platforms, smaller platforms inside the class, and a little bit bigger platform in the halls, and also encourage them to go for the higher competitions. So that is the difference that I have found in our days than to today's classroom.
Definitely. I just want to add one more thing in this is when I completed my education there and when I started teaching there in
Hmm,
the classroom used to be like so quiet. People were not sharing much. And when I
exactly.
started teaching in the classroom of like a Texas classroom for the first time,
Hmm,
my first day was, oh my God, I'm like that 28 students, 28 different questions, 28 different areas of discussion. And that was like,
hmm,
and how I wished that I mean, we should have those type of classrooms where we can share our minds to teacher and whatnot, right? So, and when
yes.
you explain these things, when you share these things, it just like fills my heart with so much, I don't know, gratitude, I would say, for the teachers like you and the change bringers, right? Because that is what necessary, right?
Yeah. because change is necessary. We
Correct.
have to adapt the new ways of teaching, and we have to prepare our students not only for the examination, but for the international level of competition.
Exactly.
When our students go abroad, they should not feel that they have been cheated with the wrong method of teaching, as we feel like, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
like, we try to our level best to give them the best of ours.
Of course, of course. I'm so glad. See, these are some of the small things, small reasons when things like this come in the tea talk, right? I mean,
Mm,
something that we
yeah,
didn't get time to talk about or share about, right? And it just
exactly.
adds a extra, I don't know, smile on my face, thinking that what are some of the changes, like change bringers, like you, like many of us. Good, and yeah, thank you for that. So tell me, one like fun question. What I always felt as well, teachers are sometimes they're actors, right? Because
Yeah.
regardless like what their days are, like what kind of
Mm,
challenges they are going through, whenever
yes.
they enter the classroom, they are the teachers, like cool and
Mm,
composed, right? The
yeah.
give, the sharers, the facilitators, as you have said. So tell me, how do you like manage yourself despite some like all of us have like good and bad days, right? So despite that, how do you wear that
Mm.
coat and enter to the classroom? And here's Lisa ma'am again. The about that.
Okay. So, like, as I've told you at the beginning of our conversation itself, that like, teaching is not just a job for me. Teaching is my passion.
Good.
Teaching is what I am. So, as every person have different personalities, right?
Yes.
Like at home, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, right? Uh, with my friends, I'm a friend, right? And like, with my relatives, I'm a relative. And then when I enter my classroom, I'm a teacher. My students and me, we are like, we dissolve with each other like a cube
So
of sugar into a tea, right? So,
yeah.
like, as soon as I enter my classroom, I
Yeah.
forget all other parts of my personality, and I became a teacher. Everything that has happened outside, which might disturb me emotionally
Right.
or excite me emotionally, I
Right.
forget them. As soon as I close the door of the classroom, I
Yeah.
forget who that Lisa is outside,
Right.
and I became myself the team of that particular class. So I'm not exaggerating, but very honestly, very sincerely telling you, even when I'm very sick, even if I have high fever,
Right.
I go inside the classroom, and once I get connected to my students, I
Mhm.
forget the fever, the headache, the pains, everything is gone.
See.
So all that remain is the teacher, the student in as a team in a unity. So, frankly speaking, I have not faced this challenge. If whatever has happened outside, that hasn't actually like overshadowed my performance, because I forget who I am outside. So I became myself inside. It's always easy.
See, the way you presented this is just like a poetry and poetry in motion, as you are, right? So what are the challenges and what are some of the rewards of this profession? As you said that I am teaching, as you said that I I do respect that, but what are some of the challenges and what are some of the rewards?
Well, like, every person in this world, they have their own measurement of the happiness.
Of course, yeah,
Like, for a businessman, if their like investment is double, they'll be happy, right?
right,
But for a teacher, their happiness is measured with the success of the students. So, like, unless you don't know, you don't have that passion and that feelings for the students, you cannot really be a good teacher. That is what I feel personally. So, of course, there are lots of challenges, right? because as you were aware about the system in Nepal, how like teaching is like not really a great profession for in the eyes of the state level, right? It is not really taken as a grand profession. So it is belittled by the other people who think that doctors are great or professional like engineers are great or some civil servants, and of course there are so many others, right? They belittle this profession, which is a noble profession, of course, right?
Forgetting the
um,
makers. I would just.
yes, yes, and that is one part, right? The other part is even in the classroom, if you don't know how to handle the students, like it's something like classroom is a very beautiful park filled
Right.
with beautiful flowers, but if you don't know how to handle the students, it becomes a Jurassic Park where the dinosaurs will eat you,
Yes,
right?
definitely. I
So
will
like
yeah, analogy.
yes, these kind of challenges are there,
Right.
but like as I said, like uh, I measure my happiness with the good results of the students. I measured my happiness with the sparkling eyes and very enthusiastic faces of the students. So my challenge, though I feel it, even as a person, I feel it sometimes. Yet, like I easily tackle it because I feel myself very much connected to the students. I touch them, I speak to them, I look at their face and listen to them. So those challenges become easier, and I overcome them easily.
See, that's the beauty of it. And like years of practice, not only years of practice, but who you are, right? What you are passionate. Back to the same thing. So tell us now. Let's talk a little bit about a mother Lisa or a wife Lisa, right? A friend Lisa. So tell me, what is hard, being a mother Lisa or being a teacher Lisa? What are the
Well, like it again depends on your perspective. What is hard and what is easy?
right?
Like nothing is hard and nothing is easy
Mhm.
because to be a mother, it's not easy. Mother is dedication.
Yes,
Mother is sacrifice. Mother is compassion.
of course.
Mother is forgiveness.
Yes,
And same is in the teaching.
exactly.
Yeah. If you are a good mother, you are a good teacher. If you are a good teacher, you are a good mother. So I see that
Right?
both roles as a teacher, as a mother, is challenging at the same time rewarding. The only thing is we need to have some kind of technique, and at the other hand, we need the passion and
Yes.
patience, of course.
Yeah, we don't forget that, right? So yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
from a one child to many children, right, out there, and the role is same,
exactly.
the giver,
Yes.
and yeah, patience, perseverance, all. Okay, Lisa, tell me, did you have any childhood dream and something that you wanted to be, wanted to achieve, wanted to do, and to what extent it has been fulfilled, or yet you are striving for it? This is something
Well,
going
like,
back to my dear friend.
well, as a child, like, there were so many dreams, but like, it was not easy to fulfill because of the society we lived in,
Right.
right? Like, our society was rather a traditional society where girls are not really allowed to dream. So we were expected to fulfill the roles that was set by the society for us.
Right.
I got married at a very early age, before I could even graduate. So like it was not easy. So my dreams I had like basically I want to be an artist. I want to be a painter, right? And that dream was completely forgotten by now because I could never do that. I didn't have that luxury of dreaming to be an artist then. Then I wanted to be a teacher. Thankfully, I could be. that, right? I could fulfill that dream. And next dream that I have is I want to pursue my PhD, like my dearest friends Sathi Silu, and
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a day when I'll be fully prepared for that, because I still have many obligations, family obligations, others. Once I complete that, once I become completely ready financially as well as socially, then I shall again like continue with that particular dream. And like I wonder like I remember like last time I met one of my friend and she was saying, Lisa, do you remember you used to draw so beautifully when you were small? You have drawn so many things in my copy. And suddenly like I was like struck, oh my God, I was an artist then. Where is that,
That
Lisa?
part I still have to, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad that I asked this question, right? So
Yeah.
otherwise I won't have known. I have seen you painting, making the real students, right?
Yeah.
Beautifying it, but I haven't really seen you like practice that in the papers, and it's good to know that you had that dream too. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And regarding your
And
I
dreaming is actually a luxury for girls in Nepal. It's a luxury most of the girls can't afford.
still
Yeah, still, of course, still, because Nepal is not just Kathmandu. Nepal is not just some of the like a group. Nepal is huge. Nepal is filled with so many parts and so many groups and so many backward groups where girls they don't know what is dreaming.
right,
So that is there.
that's there. Yeah.
Yeah,
But as long as it is hidden in some corner of your heart, right? It's never too late to go
exactly.
back, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
and I would love to see Lisa as a painter and artist someday, scribbling in your
Let's
page.
hope. Let's
I would
hope.
love to see that. Okay. When you're talking about the other areas, the aspirations, you a little bit touched about the financial part, right? So,
Mm,
and you are, along with the teaching profession, you are also working as an entrepreneur, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, why do you think the financial independence is needed for women, especially women, I would say?
Well, why not? That is my question to you.
Okay.
Because if we want to empower a woman, if we want women to dream, to aim in their life, then the first thing we need to do is empower them, make them truly independent.
Yes.
So, how would you describe this term independence? Right? They should be independent in every way.
Right.
Of course, the basic thing is academics. They should be educated. Education is the most important weapon for them.
Of course.
But apart from education, if they are not financially independent,
And even
then
for
they
education,
cannot.
I'd say, right? Even for
Yes,
education, right? That part
even
of
for
it, right?
education, exactly.
For
Because
everything,
nobody is going to help you if you want to pursue your higher education
right?
until unless you have some resources, financial resources that is in your control. You will not be able to use it for your purpose.
Of course.
You cannot just beg, please help me to pursue my higher education. Nobody will do that. So until unless you have some resources, until unless you have financially supports, okay, where you can generate, where you can control, you'll not be able to use it for your own self.
Right.
So financial independence is very, very important in my perspective,
Of course. Of course.
because it's one part of the term independence. Like socially also we should be independent, academically also we should be independent, right? And of course, politically also we should be independent.
Right.
And of course, and for everything, finance plays vital role.
Yes. It's a start, right? Something
Yeah, without finance, the term independence itself is incomplete.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
like, there's no question. We should be, and every woman should be if we are thinking and if we're talking about women empowerment.
Of course, because without that, there's no, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And let's talk a little bit about the classroom again. What are
Mhm.
some of the trends that you see in the present generation, like studying, creating opportunity in home country versus their aspiration to go abroad for the education and whatnot? So, what are some of the conversations that you deal with your students every day?
Okay. So what I've seen these days in the classes is like most of the students, they are wiser than the students of our time.
Right,
Um, I believe that is especially because they have more exposure,
of course.
and the technically the generation are IT generation, right?
Yeah.
They have more resources to get more informations, and that has made them smarter.
Yes.
So when I talk with my students, what kind of courses they would like to study, like their choices of the courses are very wide, and most of them are technical
Oh, okay.
rather than theoretical.
Right.
And they are also most of the students are pretty aware of the scope of the subjects they are studying.
Great. So, yeah.
So only today I talked with one of my students, and I was so surprised, and I also very glad to hear that one of my students want to be a geophysicist
Okay.
and seismologist also.
Okay.
And that was the first ever time that I've heard my students talking about it.
Right.
And some of the students want to be students want to study astronomy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so these are some of the new things that I've seen among the students, apart from the traditional things that I've been hearing. I want to be a doctor, I want to be engineer, I want to be a pilot. Okay, those were the traditional things that we have heard from our time. But now the students have more varieties of the choices. And of course, in home country there are lots of challenges,
Yeah.
as you're aware. The state has not been able to give all these options to the emerging new generations, right? So most of the students, they are aspiring to study abroad,
Right.
and it's not easy, of course, because going abroad and studying is full of challenges. Okay, more challenges than they can dream of,
Yeah.
right? But yet, most of the students, they think of going abroad and pursue their higher education with the better opportunities. And of course, those students who want to study here, they are basically from the medical field,
Mhm.
engineering, and yeah, engineering, medical, and of course some finance, business studies and others. They study here,
Right.
and for humanities also,
Mhm.
like literature as well as sociology and such kind of subjects students study here. But
Right.
apart from that, what I've seen is around 50-60% of the students want to go abroad.
60%. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So what is, I mean, we are almost coming to the end of our talk, but what is your message to the new generation, the students that you deal with every day, kids, a young generation, and
Yeah.
also a message to our generation, the parent generation or the teacher generation?
Okay. So my message for the new generation is that gratitude is the best attitude, because no matter how strong you grow, how powerful you become, you're like a tree. If the tree forgets its roots, then the tree will die. You're always connected with the roots, which nurtures you constantly. Of course, roots are hidden, okay? Shoots are projected, but the shoots always depends on the roots.
Exactly.
So if the new generation forgets the contribution that their parents, their guardians, their teachers, their society has given them to grow, then I believe they will not become a good human being. And for the world, we need good human being. And for the parent generation, what I feel is they should accept the change and also train themselves to adapt the change, because that way they'll be able to reduce the generation gap,
Right.
and they will be connected to their children easily and with harmony.
Oh my God, how beautifully presented. Because we need to do the homework on our side as well, right?
Exactly, we must do it. We must learn to appreciate the newer generation, because without appreciation they will not accept your advice also.
God, so it's beautifully presented, and yes, definitely. So, final question. Tell me one thing that I do not know, Lisa, as my friend, or people, or your students, or your family. I don't know, like your surrounding do not know about you. One fun thing or one unique thing about you. Something that I
Well,
don't.
like my character, my like personality is such that I'm like an open book to everybody.
Okay.
So like they're very, I don't know what is hidden from my personality, because like I open up everywhere with everyone. uh, Maybe you haven't seen me being very angry.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get very angry, okay, and very few people see that.
Okay.
And one of the person who sees it
I don't know if I'm
is my
lucky or not.
one of the person who sees me angry and grumpy sometimes is my daughter.
Okay.
And like and my husband sometime. Apart from these two people, people hardly find me grumpy and angry.
And as you said that, I mean, we
Yeah.
must have that attitude of gratitude, right? That's such a
Yes.
beautiful way of presenting. And Lisa, thank you so much for your time today. And again, also in the starting, I have mentioned that how I wanted to be in your classroom. Still, that of my wish is not changed. It won't, never, right? Because every time I meet you, you are not just my best friend, but you are that inspirer, right? And I thank you for being that.
We inspire each other, and you are my inspirer. As I inspire you, you always inspire me, because though we stay so far away, yet when we meet, the grasses, the gaps that deserves in the cup of tea. Thank you for inviting me, and of course I really enjoyed today's conversation.
Thank you so very much. Have a good night.
Good night.